Hello everybody, Darren here, and welcome back to Manor Lords, and welcome to the Town of Swords, the thriving Town of Swords here on this chilly, I'm gonna say Sunday morning. It just gives me those sort of vibes, people milling around the market, change is about to happen, we're on the precipice of spring, so looking forward to things like that. Now, in the previous episode, we'd begun refactoring this town, or at least started the process of it, by removing some of the burgage plots out this way, pushing in those sort of linear streets and rigid rectangles that I'd made, and then instead creating a bit more of an organic layout in and around the church itself, trying to leave some of those trees in place just to really make it look a bit more homely, a bit more organic. Houses are just popping up where they need to, close to the market, and they're all cramming themselves in as close as they can to these various different things. We now have 2 granaries outside of the market. We've got 2 storehouses here as well, and I've been playing around with just some things in behind the scenes, basically trying to test out how long it takes certain things to get up here. So, let me explain a problem that I've been noticing happening. Basically, we have -1 ale. And I've been kind of perplexed by this for a while, because we have 40 barley, and that's the target rate of our trader right now, just to pull in 40 barley as a consistent number. But it seems like it's just taking a super long time to make it from here, the trading post, into the town. It is quite far, and I built this a storehouse to try to encourage that to happen, but it just wasn't really happening, basically. So in testing, I set up a second trading post. Turns out that doesn't work. You can really only have one, from my testing anyway. I had them next to each other, so it's limited testing. Maybe if you had them on different sides of the map or something, things would change, but I put 2 next to each other just to try to increase the amount of people that were moving things. Didn't seem to help, because basically the 40 barley is stuck in the trader. It's not making its way to the town. Occasionally it does, so I thought, hey, maybe a storehouse would encourage haulers to kind of go pick it up and deliver it out to where it needs to be. Didn't work, and the same with the trading post itself. Adding another one didn't change anything. I thought maybe the guys in the malt house, it's their job, you would think, to go out and get something, but it does seem like they don't go and get things directly from the trader. They will go to a storehouse and grab it, though, if they can. So we have Jet Plays and Felderon and Hustlebet being a little lazy out there. They're not really getting up. They're just waiting around. They won't go to the trading post to get things out of it. So that's a bit of a shame. So anyway, in noticing all that, I've decided that I'm going to move the trader closer to the town. We're going to set up a storehouse right next to it and try to import a larger volume just to sort of trigger them moving it out of there and putting it into a storehouse. And that's going to feed into the refactoring that I've been doing here. Right, so the other aspect of our city building life is the Null. Of course, the overall meta goal that we have right now is building up to take regions from the Baron. We are making a slow trickle of influence as we sell our food here from our farming town. We have enough money now to set up another little region, so we might do that now that the winter is about to give way to spring. Might be a good time to actually begin that. But anyways, before I get too sidetracked, we're just going to stay over in Swords while we do some of this refactoring. We've got room for the population right now, so there's 106 families with room for 122. These are all tier 3 plots, but they don't have any workshops or anything like that, so I'm just going to get rid of them. They did have vegetable patches and things, but that's not a big deal. We'll get rid of them. Interestingly, it says we could have added more people. Yeah, I guess I never did that. Never expanded those houses. Anyway, this is all also in service of and in effort to asking person inside to leave. In effort to kind of create a more organic layout, right? And get rid of some of the rigidity that I had created. That I liked this street when you just look at it on its own. It was cool, but, zooming out and looking around it, it wasn't. So, trying to make that better. Now, I haven't really decided on a proper layout, though, generally speaking, so we could get rid of maybe this road, maybe this one. Yeah, that's okay. So we have the road continuing along the side of the house here, and the malt house, kind of think it will probably stay where it is. We'll try to wrap this into this street a bit more naturally, I guess, and curve that one in here as well. So just a bit more natural of a trail that leads around. And I reckon put a few houses here maybe then. So we're going to have to wait for, I suppose, these supply piles to be moved, and then what I'm probably going to do is, well, we can start the process of this now. Let's get this trader going. I'm going to turn it sideways and turn off snapping to roads. Just pop it right there. Now, those houses behind this might change how we do them and how we just outline them, but I guess overall this is going to be where the trader begins. Next to that, we'll do a storehouse, and we'll upgrade it. And we'll need a granary next to that as well, as we look to pull in certain things. That's a pretty rigid line in and of itself, but we won't necessarily have to follow that going forward. This might come out and do a bit more wrapping around that way based on the contour lines which are here. They sort of wrap around right down here. Yeah, so maybe we could try to follow that as a natural depression to the terrain. How far up there do we want to go? I guess we'll just curl it over this way now. Let that lock in. Alright, so that's following the terrain. Gives us something, a basis of a outline to work with. Might be a little easier now if we just wait for time to play. Let all these construction workers do their thing and let the snows dissipate. Also, trees have just popped in mega fast. Actually, they seem to be popping in all the time now. I don't know if it happens on load or not, because I never seem to notice it. It's just suddenly, the place is quite dense. So we'll see how that goes. I think in springtime it can happen quite rapidly as well. The other thing, I wanted to rebuild the trader anyway, because you had this disconnected from major trade routes notification, so that could be something to do with why they're slowing down in pulling this out. But like I said, in testing, I built another one right here. That one then became really active, but they never really seemed to get rid of the barley, so I don't know if it was the full problem or not. It's a lot of the first homes have basically been all displaced now. So yeah, I'm just going to let time play until the supply pods get cleared, and then we'll look to design a new layout. Right, so I've just played around for a little while. Sorry I didn't show too much of it there, but basically now I've got this plot here facing in towards that street, and these two are facing in towards that street as well. So I'm hoping that these are going to be my new sort of workshop plots, right? They can have workshops at the back of them. They're slightly wider, and they're facing into that Burns' street that we had before. Then we've got some more smaller houses just stacked in behind them that are a bit more like row housing, just stacked in right next to them. And I think that could give a nice effect as we get closer to the market. Now, as we get further out from the market, it's going to become bigger plots and a little bit more uneven. So I'm just going to work out a few different shapes now and see what we can kind of do with this area here across from the trader and the like. Alright, some extra ones at the back here. I think for chickens that might be pretty good. Let's go with that. Right, so that's kind of filled in a bit more of a natural area going around here now. Although I didn't really put in any of the vegetable patches I'd hoped for, so maybe out this side we could do that. Ooh, actually, it looks like the trading post is now done. We'll upgrade the storehouse, upgrade the granary. They look better when they're bigger anyway. Increase this. I noticed that when you build another trader, they have the same, settings, right? The import, the export, all of that stuff is the exact same. Gonna import this now, barley up to 100. Alright, so we're gonna try and maintain 100 coming in. On the storehouse, I'll have to wait until it gets done, but we need to set what it can take in and what it can't. And then, I think now's the time, we'll just decommission this, see what happens. We'll leave it for a little while until the other one, until the other supplemental buildings are ready, and then we'll just delete a lot of the stuff out this way, and I can build a bit more of a bigger manor around here as well in the future. Alright, cool. Things are moving. So, a good metric, I suppose, right now would be seeing that food variety is at 50%, right? So, we've got some meat, some veg, some eggs. It's okay, but ultimately, I'm trying to get ale and food variety up. So, our negatives are lack of entertainment, so that's the lack of the tavern and the ale, and then not enough food variety. So, those two things I'm trying to fix. In the previous category, we have a little bit of taxation memory left over from when we were taxing people. We're not doing that now, so that should go away. So yeah, ultimately the goal is to kind of get rid of all those negatives, right? So let's try to focus on that. And then we can hopefully look at the end of the episode and look back and see, like, did we achieve that goal? That's kind of the goal I have for today. So when these houses are kind of set up over here, I can delete some of these ones and then kind of refactor this area. But I'm just going to speed it up now and we'll see how we get on. Well, actually, I just realized I said I was going to speed it up, but why not take a look over at the knoll for what we could do over there and build in two places at once, right? That's the dream. Interesting that this logging camp and I guess the firewood that's around this area seem to have finally carved a way through. Oh yeah, got berries. Let's get people on that, and we'll go back over to swords and get berries going over there as well. Just put 3 on it for now. I think that should be fine. I noticed during the summer the animals come back a lot, so we'll increase that. We've got plenty of meat, though. It's like hundreds of meat over there. Alright, nice. So, in the previous episode, we built 2 extra vegetable patches here and here, and then we kind of laid out this strange-looking layout for farms. So I'm going to get rid of that middle road that goes between. We're going to actually put down farms now. So, farming, new farmhouse. Farmhouse is going to go up around the back, which I guess will just be somewhere in... Just trying to think, is there anything going to be beside that? Let's pop it right next to the edge here. That could look decent. And, yeah, we'll start laying out some actual farmland. So, fields. Should be straightforward enough. No? I guess not. That's better. So that's 0.6 Morgan. And this one is also 0.6. That's good. This one is going to be 0.7. Not bad. Keeping them all pretty consistent. And this one's 0.6. Wow. Okay, good. So that's 4, at least, done right now. There's room for another one in here. So I ultimately want about 8, I think, would be good, because we've got 8 families. Seems like it'll just work out if we do that. So I'm thinking that we get rid of that maybe central road here. Yeah. And we try again. Oop. So that's going to be 0.8. Pretty big. Alright, let's leave it like that for now. That gives us plenty to work with. We'll also need some storage, right? So we're going to need a granary. They can maybe actually stick it in around the back might be good. Just trying to think about that, because I want some fields around this side and maybe fields even here. Although I guess it doesn't really matter. So granary in around the side like that. Sure. Storehouse in behind that one. Facing out the other way. I'll just connect that little area there, just aesthetically at least. Could look nicer. Alright, cool. So that's a little farming area. See, I don't think they're going to need their own mill and everything, right? Probably not. Ooh, yeah, I said I'm going to make a bet with you guys about this particular farm, but we have to wait for a little while longer before we can do that. Looks like our wheat fields have come in, and people notice that the sheep aren't on the fallow field. So I think what we got to do is actually just delete the pasture, and then they will move onto one of the fields. So hopefully that can kind of help it out. Looking good, though. Looking damn good. What percentage are we at now? We're about 50% of through the growing process. Yield of 34. That's not much. So that's barley. All right, barley, wheat, and barley there. And how's that one doing? Is it not growing at all? It's still just been sown. Oh no. Yeah, that one obviously had some sort of weird delay with it. It's being sown in March. I guess that's not too bad. We've got everyone out there doing it. Yeah, that obviously fell behind. Something I must have done, no doubt. Alright, we'll leave this place for a little while. That's a few different things that they can work on building, and we'll assign those families then after the fact. We'll come back down into Swords, see how things are moving on. Of course, the Ox are going to be delivering all the logs. That's great. We have 12 families dedicated to building. There's no priority for any of them. And once they're all down, we'll just start upgrading them immediately. What we're going to need is roof tiles, which we've got. We have plenty of regional wealth, so that's fine. As long as they're getting stuff from the market, they should be okay. Alright, I'm just going to speed up time now then. I'm not sure what the delay was, but suddenly everyone has just started building now all at once. So it's very peculiar, but they should go flying up now. Yeah, that was really odd. Like, everyone was just away for a while, and then they all just came out suddenly and started doing it. And it was while it was before it was raining that was still happening, so don't say it was because it was raining. They build in the rain just fine. But it's nice. Now we can actually kind of watch them all kind of materialize before us. Alright, now that some of the houses are in, we can start to designate them to do different things. Because we have 923 hides, I think we're good for goats and things like that for a while. I'm going to focus more on chickens on these smaller plots out here. That is so loud. Alright, cool. So that's our chickens. These two could do vegetables. They're not that big, but they're okay. Decent size. And then similar, probably more chickens on these ones because they're quite small plots. I feel like these ones are a little bit too long, but I like these houses too much to change them now, so it's fine. Alright, cool. How's our storehouse? That one's still not getting much in the way of materials. We still have the goats just chilling as well, even since ending that episode and like loading the game and everything again. Alright, so I reckon because that's up and running, let's decommission this trading post and delete it. And people can get moving all that material. That'll force some of the barley out, actually. Livestock trading post, I don't know, maybe we could move that. This storehouse as well. Tools and all this random stuff in here, just get rid of it. Not going to deal with any of this stuff out here anymore. Alright, and then we'll catch up on the market and see how many of these places become abandoned. Oh, the leaves are in. It's looking good. I really, really like it. Man, I wish I had like the Move It mod from City Skylines to just move this just ever so slightly to here. And I thought I put an order on cutting down that one tree, but maybe it's a little bit too specific to actually happen. Oh, there's no one on the camp. That might be why. Let's try this again. I just want to get rid of that one tree. I'll make this really small and put it right there. Just see, does that actually count? And does that work? This one says that it has nothing at the moment. Well, I tell you what, even with just one family on this, maybe you could get to work and just chopping a little bit in there. It's quite dense in there now. And the forester hut, looking for planting spots. Yeah, I think they need a bigger kind of radius now. So we'll do it up towards the trail. Fill that in. Maybe fill this in as well. And why not? 2 families on that. So there's 0 families on these. These are just storage areas for the logs. And you can see the oxen constantly coming out here to get stuff and then dragging it back into the town. Hey, we got a bunch of influence. What happened? Oh, I guess we're selling food. Yeah, or giving it away to the church. All right, back over at the knoll. It looks like the farmhouse is now done. So we're going to go to the... Oh, we can't do that yet. Let's add the plowing station. Upgrade these 2 things as well. So the granary's not quite done yet. Then we have to designate what all these fields are going to be. There's also a couple of trees here that haven't been carried away just yet, which I had a problem with that before. Gonna do this with both of these, just to make sure whoever's the one that cut that down, you go get it and move it away. We've got plenty of timber for now and plenty of fuel, so I'm not worried about that. And how's the veg situation? 429. Okay, harvest will be coming up soon. Actually, didn't we already? We did. We've already harvested. This shouldn't be... Oh my god, what a waste. They should be on the communal oven. So we've got... How much is that? 319 flour. So that's a lot of loaves of bread. So they're going to get cranking on that now. 3 families working the bread. The bakers. And how's our situation with our smaller local markets doing now? So if we were to click this. And who's not getting what they need, you know? So there's some houses on the very ends that don't even have any food right now. Clothing has made its way everywhere, and so is fuel. So it seems like food is just a bit of a bottleneck in terms of getting moved around. So something I think I'm going to try and focus on to make movement better is just have more storehouses, right? I mean, those are the guys that have the hand carts. They're moving the more items. That's what we learned in the previous episode. So it doesn't seem like a reach problem. It seems like we can reach it from the market, but it seems like no one's taking it there. So maybe we just need more hands on deck moving things. Maybe? Although I thought the whole idea that I still don't fully know, and no one's really fully clarified in the comments, but with a market, is it about the person leaving their house and going to the market to get something and then bringing it back? Or is it some sort of just general distribution mechanic? I'm just not entirely sure. Like if I was Greg and I'm thinking practically, realistic game. Okay then, people leave the house, they go to the market, they get their food, and they bring it back and store it in the house. And because that's further away, they have to make that journey either more frequently or because they already have a job and they're doing something. Maybe they don't do it as frequently and that's why they run out. Thus, lacking certain things the further out you are. Is that it? I think that must be it. That's what I'll have to just assume. But I'm not sure what I can do about that. Or is it a case that the markets don't fully ever get stocked? I mean, this one has 32 in it. Actually, that's pretty good. That one's got 0. How does any of this work, you know? Very risky and tricky putting things in. I mean, I think it's cool. I'm not blaming the game at all. I just want to know how it works. But it's very risky in a game, especially a strategy game. Offloading things to the AI to figure out itself. It's like, okay, you know, I don't get to decide who puts a stall where. They just build them. And then I have to hope that they can get the materials from that stall. It's like, man, that's a lot of There's a lot that can go wrong in just those two processes. And makes it hard. And when there's no documentation on how it really works, makes it even harder. So, buildings, marketplace. Space for the assigned families to set up their stalls and distribute their produce to the burgage plots. A healthy supply and demand ratio of goods is needed to fulfill the residential requirements and keep approval high. Alright, well, we'll just keep trying to have a lot more diversity in volume, and hopefully everything will just work itself out. I'm hoping that this isn't too far. But that's why we've got two different kind of systems on the go right now. Two local markets, and this one's just one centralized market. Look at the amount of traders coming in down here. Taking all my money. And then we've got stuff left outside right now while we're waiting for it to get picked up. So just some boxes and containers and supply piles. Alright, super difficult to see things, but we now have 12 families on log cutting, so that should speed up getting our timber into our new little area, which will circle around here. And this is basically all of it. Looking pretty good. Quite happy with it. We've got that bit of a blank spot here. And I guess that's just because of where the malt house is. For some reason, it just takes up an incredible amount of space. Maybe it'll be upgraded in the future or something. But it's a very big plot for that building. Not too sure why. Looks like they're working on it, though. They're actually getting a lot more malt in there now. Are we starting to crank out some more ale? Remember, we've got 2 brewers on the go. And I think we have to look here for malt. So we got 7 malt in storage, actually, at the moment. That's good. So that's where they get... So barley, and then this has to be malt. So the only places that should be able to store malt really should be this storehouse, I would say. But maybe I'm getting a bit too micromanagey. I don't know. Maybe let them put it wherever, but you'd think that like storing malt down here would be a bit silly because the brewers are up this way, so it's like, do you ever really need to store it? Probably not. So that's something we're gonna do now, right? I'm gonna go in here and just activate everything that's needed for a trader and what could be imported or exported. All right, that should be basically it in terms of what they can store here. We're gonna throw 4 families on that as well, and 2 families on this one because we're out of families now for the first time like ever. Oh, something else I'm going to kind of just cancel now. I just feel like it's not working quite right, and it's going to change in the next update anyway, which is the pack stations. Let's just get rid of those. Only going to cause issues, I think. The mules will just have to figure out where to go. Because as far as I understand, in the new update, it's just all handled in the trader anyway, so we'll just do it that way, I guess. These guys are naturally kind of coming in from this direction, so I suppose we'll just bring that road straight over. This is a decent plot for another house here, I guess. I won't get ahead of myself, though. We'll reshape some of these, then decide how it's going to fit in there. Alright, so just going to clear some of the shrubbery now, because a lot of this is being cut down. And then try to work out where these extra houses are going to go. So there's going to be some sort of market, probably... Yeah, probably like in this general area, or maybe actually I suppose centrally would make more sense. There's houses on the left. Okay, so maybe a little market in the center then. Make it small. Actually, something I just realized, what we should really look out for is wells. Oh no. There isn't really many areas for them. Maybe we'll just put one up here as well, just to help them get water when they need to. Maybe another one out here. And potentially another one down here. Because I've noticed you can see a lot of people like fetching water constantly, and I think that I've been very much neglecting putting wells down, so that's my bad. So it should hopefully just speed up... I'll leave that actually where it is. Speed up people just going to and from wherever they need to get their water, I guess. Alright, so a market. I'm going to try and carve one out. Alright, so that'll be our market area, and then I guess we could just build houses in and around that now. A couple houses in at the side, facing in towards the market. I think facing in towards the market makes sense, doesn't it? Feels like it does. Yeah, I'm going to try something a bit different though. We'll cancel this one, leave the other one in place. Maybe try to get these along the King's Road, and they can be a bit more compact. Ah, they're too big, or too small. Alright, to cram a few more people in near the market. Yeah, something like that. Nice and messed up is what I want. No backyard plots on these ones. Stick them in right there. do a similar thing on this side, right? So they're facing out towards the King's Road. Saw people messing with this system quite a lot, actually, which is quite funny to me. Something like that could be quite interesting, actually, with big vegetable patches in and around the back. Yeah, sure, let's do it. Same on this side. It's very symmetrical, actually, the way I've done this, but could look good, maybe. I might throw things off a bit, or you could lower it down for bigger patches. That would be super. I just want to see what that's going to look like, and a little house on the side like that. Sure, let's do it. All right, cool. See how that all shakes out. All right, the road sort of ends here. All right, I'm going to bring a road straight across this way. I'm hoping we can maybe put some houses in here with just bigger vegetable plots at the back. So this can kind of continue along to about there, whatever. Maybe a bit further, actually, then. And this road needs to continue out, then. Right, so let's try that again. So you go from one side to the other, all the way down and across. Yeah, that's better. Nice big plots at the back for these guys. I'm not liking how I've managed to just kind of do this symmetrically, although I think when it comes in it won't look quite as rigid. But still, it's not ultimately what I was going for. Alright, let's commit to that. It's a little bit just throwing stuff at a wall, see what sticks, but yeah, we'll see how it all shakes out once it's done. So that's a lot of stuff for them to kind of get building now. Oh yeah, I actually forgot. So the logging camp that was out this way, I'm just going to clear the work area. We had told them just to cut down one specific tree, and it looks like they did it. Awesome. That looks really nice. A nice shaded walk in behind the church. Beautiful. But yeah, so just in monitoring things here a little bit, I've noticed that approval's really good. And it seems like the lack of entertainment's been kind of... We're getting ahead of it. We're at 6 ale now, 7. So it's on the increase. And obviously if we flip this, we can see that we've produced 29 now. So some of it's in storage, some of it's designated to go into the tavern. And all we've done is move the trading... Well, I guess we've done a few things. The trading post was moved closer to the town. They do seem to be emptying out the barley much more quickly and regularly. There's 83 barley that we have now in total. None of it's piling up here in the trading post, at least not right now. All the other trades have stayed the same. The couple things we did was we moved the trading post closer. We also added up to 100. Sorry, where is it? Here. Barley. Up to 100 is now the limit. So they're pulling in a lot more. So maybe that did something. But I think, anyway, if I was to guess, that it's the storehouses being closer and the trading post being closer has allowed the malt house to go grab what they need a bit better from the immediate storehouse and maybe just bring it to the brewers. Anyways, everything's closer, so that seems like it's probably the reason. But it could be a few things. You know, we did just throw a lot of the barley out on the floor. Maybe that just kickstarted the production. I don't know. Not too sure. Either way, they were getting ahead of it, though. That's the important thing. Right, so I've just been keeping an eye on things, and I realized that this town doesn't actually have any tavern, because we've only got level 2 buildings, but we never met their tavern supply or the upgraded church, so that's still something to work towards. So our church could be upgraded right now. I suppose why not? And yeah, we might need 1 or 2 taverns, actually, because we're so sprawling in this place. So maybe a tavern somewhere near in front of the church. Might move these stables. They're kind of in the way, actually, so... Stables across from the market's actually quite nice. Maybe we could just have the tavern right here. Why the hell not? So is it in residential? Of course it is. A mainstay of people's homes. We just pop it somewhere like here? Or should we have it right on the road? Could do. Sure. Very central. Why not? Alright, so that's going to be our tavern. Now, in order to make the stuff for the tavern, of course, we're going to need our own malt house here. Because we make our own barley. We could trade the barley actually for a good price. So, trading barley, it's undersupplied because the Swords is buying so much of it. We'd make a lot if we sold it here. Excuse me. The same is true for the vegetables, right? We are selling vegetables to maintain a consistent 400 surplus. And because Swords is buying so much, we make basically the difference over here. It's kind of like they already rely on each other, really. Because it's like, where we get ripped off in Swords, we make more money here. So it kind of all works out. Yeah, so we need a place for more industries. Did I ever make a malt house up here? No. So maybe up at the other place we could make the malt house. Or we could cram it into this empty space where we used to have the old market. Could try that. See if it fits. It's just quite a, yeah, it's quite a big building randomly, so isn't really going to fit in here, I don't think. It's close, but yeah, not going to happen. Alright, well, we could try it up by our new area. Maybe pop it in around the back somewhere here. Nestled quite far away there, I guess, but whatever. That'll be our malt house. So we could then set the storehouse here to storing barley. Well, it already is, but maybe we could tell the other one not to store barley, and maybe they have to go all the way out there for it. Alright, so don't store up your barley here anymore. Always store it out there next to the malt house. They'll make their malt, and then it'll have to go down, and we'll have a brewer's somewhere down here. Anyone that can have a backyard plot maybe that could fit one nicely. Might have to be along this area here. I was going to fill this whole thing, well, not this whole thing, but kind of go across here. And anything in this space here could be also filled in with a bit more, kind of higher density, slightly anyway. Oh, nice, yeah. So the sheep have just moved over to one in the fallow field, so I didn't get to pick which one they go to. I hope they still, you know, do their thing and multiply in that field. Might actually spend the extra money just to pull in as many more as we can, just to have, like, a bunch of sheep. Got 210 right now. I suppose just put as much money down on all the plots as we can, and then use anything else for purchasing livestock. Makes sense to me. But yeah, we'll just do more vegetables out this way. It's quite small little plots here, but it'll just look a bit better if they all have the same thing going on, I think. Damn, I love this little house on the side here. That's so cool. It's so tiny. But it just looks great the way it managed to fit in there. Shout out to the organic layouts that Greg has managed to do. It's just really good. And it's so different and unique and original from other games. There's a few games that do organic city building, like Ostriv would be a good one. But, you know, even when it kind of goes wrong, it's like you can't really fault it. It's like, well, this is still like the best iteration of this that I've ever seen, so it's still quite good, even warts and all, as they say. But yeah, let's start making some malt. Get some people on that. Get some people on the storage buildings now as well. Maybe we could upgrade the granary. Has our church been... Oh, wow, the church has been upgraded just straight up. Just like that. That was super quick. So you're going to be quite happy with all that now. And the food variety on the market's pretty good, right? Vegetables, berries, bread, eggs. A tiny bit of eggs. Barely can count the eggs. These guys all have their... They could all be level 2, actually, thinking about it. They're begging for it. Begging for it. And they'll need that tavern supply, though, I suppose. Oh, yeah, we can see our reforestation of our first... Like, this is where we set up the colony initially. It's taken effect, and we've moved our resources. We've gotten our clay, so you can stop working out there. Are you done with roof tiles? I would imagine you must be by now, no? Do we have any... Oh, we still have 48 clay in storage. They used to walk all the way out there, but I want them to do that. I just think it's funny. Just keep doing that in the background. I thought it'd be fun to hop down on the ground and actually run through the new little development we have. It's not fully done yet, so it's a bit premature, but I thought it'd be fun. So that's the street where our like logging camps and stuff is, the one I always look at because it's going up the hill. So we're just running down that street now, side street sort of. And then we have our little shrine here in the iron mine, and then we turn the corner, and these are some of our new housing developments that are going up. Looking good, doing a good job. The ox are pulling their weight, which is nice to see. And they sort of just lead off into the woods out the back. So we crest the corner of the malt house. They're working in there hard as well, which is nice to see, finally. As they're taking quite a while to make our ale. Or at least causing the bottleneck in the ale production. Alright, we'll run along this way. I guess we can cut down one of these streets here. So this is the thing I wanted to do with this area, is just have lots of little side streets. No specific order to anything, unlike the old rigidity, as I mentioned before, that we had previously. Good job, Sheila. And that shovel. Doing well. Alright. Gotta name this everyone that moves into these places as well. It's going to be quite difficult now that I've displaced so many people to track down all the no-names. And in some ways, we've kind of kept that Main Street feel as well, which I'm happy about, so that's good. Burns' Street is intact. After Jamie killed Burns, who died in one of our early battles against bandits. And then we have our trader here on the side. The new stables are in place now, looking good. I wanted them to look orderly, obviously. It just obviously makes sense for stables. So that's good. Then we have our storage, storehouse, and our granary. So yeah, looking pretty good, looking decent, looking better than before for sure. Happy with it. Alright, so I was just looking over the fertilities, and then when I selected a crop, they started immediately plowing the field. I don't want anyone doing that until the next month. I haven't even assigned anyone to this farmhouse, and the general idea would be to pick this farmhouse instead of working area, so that they just kind of do this side, and then these guys will do this side. Some overlap is fine. Obviously, it's fine. I guess it's a big circle, so it's not much I can really do about that. But yeah, I just felt it was a bit premature. We're in August, so autumn is when I want to start that. Harvesting, plowing, and sowing. So we'll then throw as many families as we can into the farmhouse, because there's still building projects on the go. So we'll leave all those guys doing that stuff for now. Got a lot of planks soon. I keep saying that, but I've still wanted to put a wall around this. It's just that priority keeps falling down on it, because obviously it won't really do anything. It's more just cosmetic. Oh, there's a plot here that doesn't have anything. Really? Oh, how misleading, because there's goats just chilling out the back of it. So they're just waiting. So what would happen if I just make this goats then? Will there be twice as many goats? Oh yeah, some just came out of the house actually. There's a few just roaming around actually. Well, I guess those are goat pens as well. Well, they have homes now, so they should be happy. Expand the living space to cram another one in here on the side. Sure, why not? Good luck with that. Good luck cramming it in there. I think this actually happened before and I deleted it because it wasn't right, but we'll see what happens. Love testing the limits of the game. Alright, sun's out. They're starting to do a bit more plowing. Everyone's harvesting their vegetables. They're harvesting the barley and the wheat. Love it. Love to see it. They won't be threshing it until the end of the season, so that's fine. And the communal oven, I think, is probably... No, you've gone through it all already. Yeah, they're done with the flour, so you guys can get off that now. Yeah, sure, get off it. Keep them on just the farmhouse and building and stuff like that. Herman is out there helping, lending a helping hand. So that's not assigned to doing anything. I think I had it going, cutting trees out down that way. Tempted just to take people off this altogether. I don't think we really need it. 45 wood. Alright, I'll tell you what, we'll go a little further out that way for a little bit. Want to keep the trees in and around this area. They look nice. And then we have another one here that's not doing anything. This one. Yeah, so maybe just go a bit further out there and we'll replant that in the future. So the forester's hut, we'll put 2 people on that and 2 on that one. They're just generally told to plant in there, so we'll see how long it takes. Yeah, not sure what I can do about that. I mean, we just don't have enough food variety, I guess. Trying to make more eggs. And berries will just be seasonal, so we don't have any right now. We've got plenty of... Yeah, I guess the only other thing I can think of doing is importing something like flour into our own oven and just making a bunch of wheat. The flour probably isn't as expensive to pull in as the bread would be. Let's see, so that's a commodity, isn't it? Well, it normally is. Crafting material, flour, 3 per thing. Could bring in grain at 2 per thing, and then we get more flour out of it. That seems better, right? So sure, let's import grain. And, I don't know, let's try to do 200, so that's 400 gold is what that would be. We'd have to build a windmill for that. But yeah, where should that go? Somewhere down around by the sheep and things could be kind of nice. But you don't want it to be too far away from there. There's a turn in the road here, so maybe just even somewhere... Oh yeah, it's actually like 97%, 98. 96 efficiency is pretty good. I don't know if it matters that much, really. I wish I could put it in there, but I can't. Alright, let's go with here. Alright, so that'll be our windmill. We'll pull in the flour, I guess, from the trader. Might get stored in the granary. Bring this down for a bit. I should just bring it straight down like that. Alright. Alright, windmill, under construction. Then, yeah, they'll turn that into flour. And then I guess we need the oven. Maybe we'll put the oven around here as well. Why not? In at the back. little industrial areas you're coming into the town. Alright, cool. Alright, cool. So that's the windmill, and that's the communal oven. So the trader's going to be pulling in all that grain. Hopefully you can then smash it down into flour and then cook it or bake it. Get another supply of food going, because it just seems like we're struggling to maintain 3. We can do it when the berries come in, but then it kind of goes away. I want to keep that consistency. It's nice. How efficient is that, right? Plowing while they're actually still like kind of bundling up some of the hay and bringing it in. Alright, we're into October, rainy, wet season, but the ox is out there plowing. Everyone else is plowing by hand on the fields of barley. Most of our wheat is ready to go as well. They're doing a good job. Very good job. I thought it'd be kind of cool to walk our new fields, especially during autumn when we've got such a pop of color. Things just look so nice. Doing a great job. So this side is basically none of it's fallow. The other side is almost entirely fallow. Almost. There's like 2 fields that they're going to be working right now. I was a bit late to doing it, but we can just about see an ox out there right now plowing. But winter is approaching. We're getting to the end of the month. Ooh, the church looks good in the distance as well. But yeah, after this year, then, we'll have a bit more of a staggered approach where there should be an almost even amount of fallowed and unfallow in both sets of fields, or farmhouses, if you know what I mean. I'm guessing this is one of our guys carrying over the barley over to the malt house. Just tucked way in around the back here. What do you got? I wish we could see it. What do you got in there, man? It's like I'm not even here. Alright, I wanted to actually just take a little peek into the oven, but there's no one here right now. But we can see a few bread baskets just tucked away in there. And we've currently got Raghav, SP, Ryan Christensen, HR Hine, Inerva, and James Brooks are all bakers. And then we have some no-names that we don't care about. On the mill, they're working away. What is it? Trousty Burgesson, WH, and Thomas Satinsley, or Satansley. Jeff Marshall, Nawi, and Matthew Cox, and then some randos from the others as well. We've already milled quite a lot. We've got 39 flour. Some of it's going in there right now. There we go. HR Hine dropping off a sack of flour, no doubt. I want to see them picking up this thing and shoving it in there and making the pizza, you know? It's kind of like what it looks like it would do. Is anyone going to do it? Might not be an animation for it. They might just make bread without it actually lighting up and stuff. It seems like that's the case. How unfortunate. I want my money back, Greg. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, looks like the first snowfall has arrived, sort of bringing us full circle to the beginning of the episode where the snows were just ending. So it's almost a full year done. Quite happy with the new development. I think it looks good. Although there's still more work to be done in getting these up to tier 3. Not everything. I think the smaller plots at the back can stay, but these smaller ones inside, I basically want to level them up. So we're just kind of waiting on them getting that food variety. But things definitely got better. We've made 80 ale. That's just in reserve now. So the ale problem totally solved it. We still have tons of extra stuff like the extra leather, the wool, the hides. We have nearly 1,000 hides and 1,000 wool. It's kind of crazy. So we should really be exporting that at a much more higher volume, I think. I wonder, does that mean, 20 unassigned families, maybe we should just build a couple extra storehouses just to get people with hand carts really moving stuff around and loading up the trading posts and things like that quicker. That might be the case, it might help things a bit. Not sure. Certainly seems like the volume is fine. It's the distribution that seems to be the issue. As for the food variety, eggs is starting to creep up now. 38 in reserve, 99 for vegetables, 500 for meat. So we're pretty much keeping at our cap in terms of like the trading post. We'd said we want to always have 100 veg. We always want to have 500 meat. So we're easily doing that. That seems fine. And eggs is creeping up a little bit, which is good to see. So in the next one, I think I'm going to redevelop this side. But also, we're pretty close now to getting the influence we need. As soon as we hit 2,000, we're going to move out and attack the Baron again. Just to make progress on that constantly. I want to work towards defeating him now. Notice that our rich deposit of meat has kind of come back as well. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Over on the other side of things, pretty standard. The snows are kind of covering our fields now, but we can see that... Oh, it's really hard to see. But yeah, these 4, managed to get plowed and sown, so they're growing. They should be totally fine, hopefully, as long as nothing goes wrong. These two as well, wheat and wheat. I've got a few in between, so this one and this one, which are both going to be doing wheat also. All the rest are fallow, just to give them a bit of a recovery period. We managed to build the... Sorry, where is it? The Tavern. And we built the brewery as well. And they've probably actually been brewing, thinking about it, but I haven't actually activated the Tavern yet, so I wonder have they made any ale. Oh, they have. We've got 55. I'd like to build that up before we activate it. Just leave it, like, ticking up in the background, and then activate and keep it going for a while, and then hopefully reach that one. I'm trying to get 100% in one of these towns, damn it. It's difficult, but I'm aiming for it. We could also get a couple of level 3 houses, which I was thinking of doing probably around this more built-up area that we've got here. So there's a little market here. There's a couple houses just either side of it that don't have any plots or anything around the back, so they could become our tier 3s and probably look decent along this road. Especially if the market starts to get filled in over time. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. So nice little chilled building one. 900 regional wealth here. Holy crap. Didn't realize we made so much. So we could always pull in more stuff if we really needed to. Alright, that's going to have to be it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.